Normally, I would take my time to go over positive things that have been happening in the district, and there's quite a few. But unfortunately, this evening I will not do that. This evening, I have to release my satanic vibes. At least that's what I've been told to have. And that's because of this ugly election process that's been going on throughout our county. And it's very hard, I'm sure, for our candidates, as it is hard for people who aren't even running to have things said about them that are completely false. And I guess the best term to use here would be fake news. There's a lot of fake news out there, people. And it's very, very important that you do your homework and we get the vote out, because yes, we have 3 seats up for election. That is true. And that is very important. And you want to put well-educated people into those seats. Not necessarily people who are indoctrinated to follow certain rules and regulations. And I think I've always worked hard to be the voice of reason sitting in the middle, as I've said so very often. And I am a Republican. I am a lifelong Republican, but I am a moderate. I do believe that both sides at times have very important ideas, and I will listen to both sides before I will make a change. And I'm proud of that fact. What I am not proud of is a lot of this ugliness that has transpired over the last few weeks and untruths, especially when people are saying they're telling the truth and they're nowhere near the truth. I cannot stand lies. I can't. It just ingrains, it gets me angry and aggravated. I don't care what individuals think if they don't pay attention and they don't learn. They've got to learn. Use education. Education is so important. We all need to be well educated. And the more you learn, you find out things. And it's sad that we have come to this point, because I've worked very hard to work with my colleagues and been very trusting. I'm not sure I can do that anymore. That's terrible. And I'm angry at myself for that, and I'll fight myself for that. But not after things that have been said that are untrue. And I do not, and I will not support any involvement of the church and the school system and education. It does not belong there. The separation of church and state was designed by our framers so that they came from England, where they ran from, because it was controlled by a church. A church. So they made sure when they came here and they made the Constitution of the United States that there would be none of that. So they made that very clear in the U.S. Constitution. And the Constitution is very clear about it, that it designed a very high and impregnable wall to divide the church and the state. Now, if you want to call that satanic, I'm very sorry for that, but I'm a lifelong Catholic too. And I believe in my religion, and I believe in lots of religions. Everybody has a right to a religion. All of them. And they're all important. We have moments of silence before every meeting. If you want to say a prayer, by all means, I highly encourage you to do that. I have no problem with that. But I'm not going to be ridiculed because of my beliefs. So I'm going to be releasing a video tomorrow that'll go into more depth. But I'll tell you right now, this has got to stop. I'm very embarrassed by Flagler County. I'm very embarrassed by the people running for office. Shame on them. Some of the things they've said is unbelievable, actually. Makes you question sanity, and that concerns me. So yes, I've wasted my 5 minutes on something I really wouldn't have had to talk about, but I'm not going to let this continue without being answered. My tongue is alive, and I will not be silenced. Understand that here and now. Thank you.
Ms. Conklin?
Thank you. And Mrs. Massaro, apparently you and I are of the same satanic cult, so I would associate myself with your comments, and it's disappointing that at the beginning of the school year we have to start off in that way. I am a woman of great faith. Faith is probably the most important thing to me, but I recognize that we represent all children, regardless of what faith they are or what faith their families are. And shame on anyone for doing and saying the things that have been said in reference to any of their colleagues on this board. It is disgusting and despicable. And I'm looking forward to this election being over, regardless of the outcome, so that we can move on and focus on what is important, and that is actually educating children and not politics. And with that, I want to congratulate all of the schools. It has been wonderful to see all of the videos and the back-to-school messages, and the energy is positive. And the only ones I see screwing the energy up, to be quite frank, is us. And so I hope that that ends very shortly, because we need to get back to being a collegial board that does not represent only one ideology, one particular group of students, but all students, or as they say, all of God's children. And with that, I think I should probably end my comments.